Hi, everybody. Last November, an 18-year-old boy named Kuruluş was trapped in a fire in a Bangladeshi clothing factory. He was trapped with hundreds of other workers because the fire escapes there were locked. Kuruluş managed to call his mother using his cell phone to say goodbye just before he died. In April, we saw the Rana Plaza factory collapse, killing over 1,000 workers. And many of the brands who sourced from both of these tragedies didn't even know that their products were being made in that factory, much less the conditions under which they're being made. Now, when my mom immigrated from India decades ago as a teenager, she worked in an apparel factory in Mississippi. That's where I was born and raised. Now, mom has become a nurse. She's joined a union. She's doing fine. But when we outsourced the job, mom's job, we didn't outsource the labor conditions under which she worked. And now Bangladesh is suffering the consequences. They're looking at the removal of their preferential trade status by the US and the EU. And if that were to happen, it would be a double tragedy for Bangladeshi workers. This isn't just about Bangladesh. Workers around the world need these jobs. They need a pathway out of poverty, a path with dignity. Now, brands, many of them in this room, have been pretty responsible. They've tried to inspect their factories using audits and inspections, but these snapshot inspections just aren't solving the problem. They're too brief, they're too rare, and workers are coached on what to say, at risk of losing their jobs or worse. Hotlines also aren't solving the problem either. They're not scalable, workers don't trust them, and when they do, they often call pretty late when the issue is already urgent. When I was in the State Department, I visited some of these factories on behalf of you guys, and I noticed that almost every worker I talked to had one of these. And I thought, well, this is a basic problem. This is a real-time problem demanding real-time solutions. Brands need to know where their products are being made. Workers need to know where the best places are to work so that they can vote with their feet for the best jobs. And any solution needs to be scalable to millions of workers, tens of thousands of factories in any given supply chain. So we built Labor Voices to connect directly with workers through their phones, asking simple questions in audio so even illiterate workers can use it, and then packaging that information and selling access to that information to brands. Brands subscribe to that information on their factories, and they see who's doing better and who's doing worse. They see trends over time on health and safety, hours, wages, to identify issues when they're important rather than when they're urgent. We connect with workers. We monitor factories in real time. We warn workers away from danger. And we drive brands and buyers to the best-in-class factories. We've gotten interest from brands, again, many of whom are in this conference, about joining us in Bangladesh and in other countries, in China, in apparel and electronics. Please do. Please come talk to me about that. Because what we're doing is connecting directly with workers. And we're making sure that workers like my mom, workers like Kuruluş, can make the products that we all love with safety, pride, and dignity. We're Labor Voices. Join us.